Hey, I'm Camila and I'm very happy that you found this video because today you'll learn 3 actions, 3 insights. I'm about to share with you 3 things that you can start doing right away on your Instagram account to make your account a lot more attractive and to get your audience to finally start noticing you online, start noticing you on Instagram. You also have the opportunity to learn more about my online program and my method to help you use Instagram to grow your business online. So without further ado, let's dive in because I have a lot to share with you today. What I'll share in this video will be beneficial for you if you want to use Instagram to grow a business online, if you want to have control over your brand graphics, your visuals, and you don't want to rely on a graphic designer every single time that you need to create something for your social media, for example. And it's also going to be good for you if you've worked with a social media manager in the past and you feel like all they did was waste your time and energy and money, and they didn't get to the results that you were expecting to get. And also it will be good for you if you feel like what you're posting today on Instagram just doesn't represent the quality of the products and services that you offer. You feel like what you're creating in Canva, for example, feels too amateur, and that is holding you back from showing up more consistently. And this will not be beneficial for you if you don't have a business or at least a business idea. And if you're looking for a shortcut, a quick solution, a growth hack, or a magic formula to grow overnight, or if you're fine using Canva templates and if you find that AI generated content like ChatGPT is enough for you and you don't feel like you need to create a deeper connection with your audience. And this is also not for you if you're not ready to invest your time and your effort into getting to know your business better and providing value to your audience for free. Here are some people that I've helped with their Instagram look and feel, and this is Strength for Endurance. This is what their feed used to look like. So they reached out to me because they weren't happy. They didn't feel confident with the feed, with how the feed was looking, and they were using different fonts, different colors. It wasn't consistent, and it didn't have like a professional look to it. So that's how I helped them create something else, something that felt more professional and more aligned to their brand vibe. This is the result. We created Canva templates so that they could keep their designs consistency on Instagram. And it's also a lot easier for people to understand what kind of content they post about and if that content is actually for them. A good looking and clear feed like that helps people decide whether they want to follow an account or not. For example, this is one of their reel covers that they used to use for their podcast to promote their episodes. And this is what we created instead for them to use as a more aligned version to their brand identity. So we have a clear headline, big bold letters, so that it's easy for people to see that cover from a small mobile screen, right? If they see it from a grid, they can easily read, well, this one, not really. If you can see here, this is what the grid looks like, the image on the grid view. It will actually be cropped as a square, and this is the difference from one to the other. This is Baran Chef. He's actually my husband, and this is what his feed used to look like before he started to use Canva to improve how his feed looked. This is the result after he started using Canva templates to create his reel covers and his carousel posts. And we can see it's a lot easier to identify what each tile here is about, what this content talks about before we even click to view the content on its own. And this one here is my own feed back in the day when I used to design my grid and my content in a way that it would look very perfect and polished. But if people landed here, it may look beautiful and nice, but it doesn't really add value to anyone, right? So this is what my grid looks like today. You can see it's very easy to understand that I post a lot about graphic design, about Canva, about branding. It's really obvious for people who land on my profile page on Instagram to understand whether they should follow me or not, whether they're interested in this content or not. I have a confession to make. Just like many other graphic designers, I haven't always been a Canva lover, a Canva enthusiast like I am today. And I used to see Canva as a threat because before I started using Canva, I saw that all these people were jumping in and creating their own designs, and I thought that it would be it would mean the end of my career, right? Because if everyone was able to jump in this tool and design whatever they wanted, then it meant my business was over. People would not need graphic designers anymore, right? Well, not really, because while I was there having this little internal crisis, thinking my career was over, then my clients were actually reaching out all the time, asking for me to help them with their Canva designs, because they sometimes spent hours and tried to make it look good and professional, but they just, for some reason, could not get their designs to look right. So that proves that even though Canva is such an amazing tool and it's very easy to use, user-friendly, people are still having a hard time to create designs that reflect the quality of their businesses. I see it all the time. The do-it-yourself designs in Canva damaging people's brand images, making them look amateur and actually repelling their target audience rather than attracting them and increasing sales. The way that I see this is that the tool we use, whether it's Canva, Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever tool we use, it doesn't really matter. What matters is how we use the tools, what we create with these tools. And one thing that cannot happen is talented entrepreneurs and business owners like yourself who offer a valuable solution to people just send across an unreliable, unprofessional message across their do-it-yourself visuals that they created in Canva because they just don't know how to do it better. The good news is that any business owner can learn how to create better visuals. The same way we learn how to verbally communicate, we can learn how to send across the right message in visual form as well. And visuals actually travel a lot faster than words. Did you know it takes around 7 seconds for people to form an opinion about anything they see? In just 7 seconds, you may not even have had the chance to speak, and people will already have formed an opinion about you and have probably decided whether you're worth doing business with. I see so many people spending endless hours in Canva trying to get their designs to feel right. They end up overthinking every design choice. They change a color here, add another font there, or choose a different template, just in the hopes that one day the design will click. And a tool like Canva that was actually meant to save you hours of work is actually eating up a lot of your precious time, and that is not good. One more thing that I see people doing all the time in Canva is changing their visuals too often because it's so easy to edit and there's so many good resources, different elements, beautiful graphics. People tend to start experimenting. If you change your visuals all the time, your Instagram feed becomes inconsistent and the visual message just gets lost and disconnected. People will have a hard time memorizing and identifying your business in the ocean of content that they see on Instagram. Just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. Keep in mind that you're not designing your daughter's birthday party invitations. This is your business and you should take it seriously. This is what you should do instead. Have clear brand guidelines to follow. So define your logos, choose your colors, define the fonts that you're going to use for your brand and the image style that you're going to use to communicate your brand message. Another one is keep your visuals consistent. Stop changing your mind all the time whether you should use pink or blue for your brand. Just nail it down, your brand guidelines, and then follow it because people will have a hard time connecting and identifying your business and your content on Instagram if you keep changing the way you look all the time. This one may sound strange coming from a graphic designer, but you should not obsess about the looks. Yes, visuals are important, of course they are, but you should not obsess about them. Remember that you need to learn first, learn the basics, understand what makes a design look good and what doesn't, and practice and improve as you go. And finally, rather than obsessing about the looks, you should be creating better content. Focus your energy in coming up with better content ideas that will actually add value to your audience. Pretty designs are not enough to make your business succeed on Instagram. Even though I'm a graphic designer and I could be here telling you that you just need to create better designs to succeed on Instagram, I would be lying because this is not what it takes and I learned the hard way. I only started to see growth on my Instagram account when I let go of my visual obsession, my polished posts, my beautiful content, and I combined instead 3 elements. And this takes us to the 3V method. So the 3 V's consists of visual, vibe, and value. Visuals, like the name suggests, is all about how it looks. The vibe is how it feels. And the value is how it helps. The visuals will make things look nice, the vibe will actually infuse your own unique personality, And the value is the valuable content that you share specifically to your audience. If you've got your visuals and your vibe right, but you're not really adding value, it means you'll create designs that look good and feel unique, but it's not gonna add any value to people. Now, if you have vibe and value in place, but you're neglecting visuals, it means you add value with your content and you're infusing your own unique personality through your content, but your designs just look amateur. And finally, if you've got value going on and your visuals are right, you're probably creating beautiful, professional-looking designs, but then you don't have your unique personality and people will not connect with the person behind the business. The goal here is to get to this sweet spot right in the center where the 3 V's coexist to create Instagram success. The visuals will help you create professional-looking designs and also send across the right vibe through the visuals. And using your own personality, you should be sharing content that actually helps your audience solve a problem that they have. Now that you know what the 3V method stands for, it's time for us to go ahead and learn these 3 things here. Number 1 would be how to find endless ideas for content, for what to post. Number 2 is how to create attractive designs that match your brand style and also fit the middle square. You'll learn in a second what that means. And in number 3, we'll go through the Pro Profile Checklist to help you optimize your Instagram profile to attract more people. The first thing you want to do is jump in Google. Now let's imagine that I am a personal trainer who specializes in postpartum, right? Okay, first thing I want to do is type here postpartum exercises. So we can see here there's a lot of results. If we scroll down, I want you to scroll down until you get to this section here. If I zoom in so you can see it better, it says, people also ask, how soon should you exercise after giving birth? What exercise is good for postpartum? How can I reduce my tummy after delivery? This is relevant because Google actually has this data about what people are actually typing and searching on Google. So this is what people actually ask about that topic that I just searched for. If you expand this, it will of course show you a website and an answer to that question. But once you keep expanding them, more questions start to show up at the bottom. So if you keep expanding and you close it, now I have how long after birth does your belly go down? So all these things that people actually search on Google will start to show up here. And this right here is a gold mine for all these content ideas that you can list and start creating content on, start answering those questions. I expanded a few more times and this is all the content that I've got just from this single specific topic that I typed in. Now let's try a different industry. Let's imagine I am a freelancer working with digital marketing and I want to come up with content ideas to help my audience solve a problem. So what I would type here would be something like, what's the best type of marketing today? And then you scroll down, you see people also ask. What is the most effective type of marketing? What is the best form of marketing today? What marketing is most profitable? What is modern marketing today? Keep expanding and you'll see more questions start to pop up here. Now let's be a little bit more specific and I want to type something like why small businesses need an email newsletter. Scroll down and you can see, why do you need an email newsletter? What is the purpose of a newsletter for a business? Why are newsletters beneficial? Are email newsletters still effective? That's a good one. So a digital marketer, freelancer could be sharing content on this topic here. Let's jump in Canva now for my insight number 2, which is how you can create designs in Canva that fit your brand style. I'll create a carousel post answering this question here. Are email newsletters still effective? Here I am in Canva. I'm using my Canva Pro account for this exercise, and this is my brand that I'll create this content on. So we've got Sarah Garcia Digital Marketing. The brand is already, it's actually using the brand style guide template that I share with my students. And if you scroll down, we'll see that we've got the brand words, we've got the logo set up here, the submarks, the colors are all set, ready to go, ready to be used in the designs. And we have the fonts as well. And we've got icons and graphics ready to go for this brand, as well as photography style here on this page. This brand style guide template is great because it helps you put together in one same document everything that you need to create designs a lot faster. And that's what we're gonna do right now. I'll leave this one open here so we can always come back to it. I'll go to homepage in Canva and I'll create a design for a carousel post. Carousel post portrait, that's perfect. The first thing I'm gonna do in this design is name it. I'll name it something that is easy for me to find this design later. So I'll just type in newsletter, which is the topic of this post, and digital marketing. The second thing that I'm gonna do is go to elements. I'll search for shape here and I'll select this square because I want to show you something that is so important here. Because this is a carousel post, it will have multiple pages, right? But the thing to keep in mind here is that the cover page will be the one displaying on our grid view. So when people land on your profile on Instagram, they will see only the middle square of your cover page for every post that you share. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna add guidelines in Canva to mark exactly what is the area that's gonna be visible. And I call this area the middle square. This is the square here. I will just add it here to the bottom and it will snap to the corner here. You can see this pink line showing up. I'll hold Shift on my keyboard and I'll just drag that square all the way to the other edge here so that it takes the full width of my design. Now with the square selected, I'll go to position and I will just make sure it is aligned to the middle and aligned to the center. Now I'm ready to add my guidelines. To add your guidelines, you can go to File, Settings, and you can just click this first option here, Show Rulers and Guide, or you can just type Shift-R on your keyboard. I will just drag from here and drop a line on this edge of the square and drag another one and drop on the bottom edge of the square. Now I'm ready to delete my square and I am left with the two guidelines at the top and bottom of my design. This is the area that's gonna be visible from the grid view, and this is only relevant for the cover page, not for the next pages. Now the next thing I wanna do is add my colors, my brand colors to this specific design, because if I go to colors here, I click that box, I'll see that the document colors only show the color white, which is the only color that I have at the moment. So I'll just add a new page for now. And I'll go back to my brand style guide, to the colors page, and I will grab the colors. Select them, Command C, and I will paste them here on page number 2. Anywhere is fine, it's just so that Canva adds the colors to my document colors here, so that I can easily grab these colors from there. So I'll add another page and I'll go back to my brand style guide and now I will copy the fonts. These are the fonts that should be consistent with the brand. So just paste them here. I have my fonts in place, I have my colors in place. I'm ready to start designing my carousel post. Now I'll go back to my Google search and grab that topic here that I wanted to answer on my post. I'll just copy this back to Canva. I'll just hit Command V and it's gonna paste with a different font, but that's fine because I'll go back to my fonts page here and I will grab this title font. This is the heading font that I should be using for this brand. So I'll just grab that and I will copy that text and paste into this style of font. So here we have it, our email newsletters still effective. I'll actually make these capitals because I think it will look nicer like this as a title. That sounds good. I will delete that one because this is not part of my brand fonts. And now I'll go back to my brand style guide because I want to choose a good image to use as the background. So if I go back and I'll go to my photography style, this is so handy, this brand style guide, because you can have all your elements, all your brand assets within this one document and you can just grab from here. Of course, you're not limited to only these photos, but it gives you an idea, it sets the vibe of your brand style. So I would like to pick this one here. It seems like it's relevant for newsletters because she's typing on a computer. So I'll go back, I'll paste it. Here is my photo. I will just detach it from that frame because it's inside this square frame. And I'll set this image as the background. I can double click to adjust the position of that image, but I do like the denim showing, so I'll just do this and see how that looks. Now we have to fix, as you can see, it's impossible to read what it's saying here. There's a few ways we can fix this. Basically, what we need is more contrast between the background and the font. You can see here that the font is dark, the background is quite dark, so that's why it's impossible to understand what the title says. And this is the thing that needs to be easy to understand for people. I'll show you now one way you can solve this. I will add another shape, another square to my design, and I will place it down the bottom here, and I will make it the full width of my design. I will make it go around about here, and this is already looking better. Of course, the colors are not right, but this is already separating the text from the image, and this could already be a solution, but that's not what I want to show you today. If we click that rectangle and you click the color there, you will be able to select a different color, and in this case I want to select a gradient. So if I click that plus here, I will select gradient. I will select one color to be black and the other color to be also black, but the second one I will just drag this all the way to the bottom. So I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. Both colors are set to black, but one of them is all the way to transparency to be 0. So there's no color actually there. It's just transparent. So what it means, if I zoom out and go back to my design, it means that my rectangle is going from black to transparent. And now I will just change the position. I'll make it go from the bottom to the top, and I'll just invert these two colors because I want the black to be at the bottom and transparent to be at the top. And this means that this block will be seamless blending into the background image. So you can see here, you cannot see the end of that block because it ends in transparent, which is what I wanted. Now we're able to make this text contrast better by adding a light color in it, like this one, which is one of our brand colors. And we can see that it's already looking pretty easy to read now because we just changed that simple detail. I do think this font is still pretty small to be read from a mobile screen, so I will make this bigger and I will probably make it go to 3 lines. We will need to increase that gradient to make it go further so that it's easy for people to read. I think that's looking better. Maybe I'll go a little bit up still. So now I'll go back to my brand style guide and I want to grab some elements. I am thinking maybe one of the arrows here that indicates that people have to swipe. I will just select this first one here, very clean, and I'll go back to my post, add it to my design. And the good thing is that these graphics here, they are all editable. The color is editable. So I'll just add the same color as the text and make it contrast enough. And this arrow here, you can place it here if you don't want it to be visible in the grid, or you can just place it maybe right there. But I do prefer it to be placed here. Then it's cleaner in the grid. It just shows the image and the title, and I think it looks better. One more thing that I like to add to my carousel cover page is my handle. So let's just grab this font here, the paragraph font from this page, and I'll just paste it here, make it contrast enough, so I'll add that same color, and I'll just add my handle. That is Sarah Garcia. Let's say this is the handle. And I'll add it to the bottom here. And here I have my cover page ready. It's pretty clean, it's pretty easy to see. One last thing I like to do on my cover page only is make sure that it will look nice on the grid view. I will add a rectangle, so I will just type R on my keyboard and I'll add these shapes here and make them the same width of the top area and the bottom area. And I'll change the color to be the same as the Canva background. I will copy that and place that on the bottom, and that leaves me with just the middle square. I think it looks good. I think the margins are even here, so I'll just delete this, and this is good to go as a cover page. Now let's keep designing the carousel post. I will just add a new page by clicking that little button there, and now I will select a different color for my background. Maybe that lavender color will look nice for the next page, just to bring in the vibe of the brand more without making it look busy and mixing too many colors. Now again, I'll go back and copy my fonts here. I'll copy all of them and paste to that content page here. And I will just put them up here, and I don't think I'll need that one right now, that font. This is just an accent font that I like to use for brands. I'm not gonna type the content for this, but you could come up with a good content for this page. This is where you go and answer the questions in the next pages of this carousel, so our email newsletter is still effective. You can just type here, short answer is yes. I'm not even sure if the content is right. I just want to show you the design side of things. And this is where you would add the text. I'll just copy this and just paste it so that this illustrates the text here, the content, maybe less. Don't need to add too much content per page. And we can break it up to make it easier for people to read. Maybe this text might be too small, so I'll make it a bit bigger to make it comfortable for people to read from a mobile screen. We want people to read this text, not to just scroll past, right? So this is the second page. If I remove the guidelines, I'll just go Shift R. Here it is. I can copy my handle and my arrow and paste it here. I will change the color for that green one, which is my brand color. And I'll change the text color and see how that looks on that green. Yes, so this is my brand color. And I can just keep elaborating with this same design. Or if you don't like that color, of course, we could go with this beige here and make it cleaner. And this is what I would do. I would just keep duplicating the page and of course changing the text content. You can add an icon, for example. Let's say this one, second page, had something else. Say this is the heading. It's coming as bold. I want it to be light. And say in this page here, I actually want to add a graphic. So I'll go back to my brand style guide and I will grab this one here, which could be related to email actually. So let's say this is the brand graphic and I want to add this one here. I think it will look nice. And then we keep adding more. So this one here is, say this is the content for the next one and I want to delete that graphic and add a different one. This computer now. And I will just add it to the bottom as well and make the text fit better on the page. Just break it up by doing this so that it doesn't fight with the graphic there. So this is another page and you can create as many as you want as long as it doesn't go over 10 pages. An important page to do is the last page, and I will, for the last page, just duplicate that, delete the graphic, delete the arrow because this is the last page. There's nowhere else to go. And this is the page where I want people to take action. If they got this far, they read the content, and now they landed on this last page here of my carousel, I want to invite them to share their thoughts or save this post or do whatever it makes sense for this content that I'm sharing. So in this case, let's just pretend that my intention with this post was make people save this. So I'll just say, save this post for later. And this will be my final page, my call to action page, how I call it. I will delete that and just have the text aligned to the middle like this. And I will just, make it a little bit bigger. I like on the call to action page, add a photo of myself, like of the person that is the actual face of the business. I'm just creating this as an example, as an exercise, but I'll just look for like profile image woman and see what comes up in Canva. A few here. I think that one looks nice. I think that's a good one to use. I will now make this smaller, so I'll just reduce the size, and I could add this into a round frame. That would work as well, or I can simply just create a rectangle like that, and I will make the corners round for this example. This is how we could have it. Let's say this is Sarah Garcia and she's inviting you to save this post for later. So I'll add probably like this. I think it looks nicer. We can make this a bit smaller. And to finish it off, one more thing that I like to do is to add a little flag icon. So you can just go here into elements and just type save icon and go to graphics and you'll find a little flag here. I think that one will look nice. I will add it here to the bottom and make it smaller so that the text is more evident and the photo of her is more evident. And then this is my call to action page. I'll actually align everything to the center to make it more visually appealing, even though we'd still have the guidelines if you click Shift R, because this is not the cover page. It doesn't really matter where we place this little handle here. So it doesn't matter if it's too close to this border. It's not going to be relevant for this page here. It's only relevant for the cover page because that's the only one that shows on the grid view. To indicate that this is the final page, I like to use a different color to make it look a little bit different than the other pages. So what I'll do, I'll just use that lavender color for this specific page, and I will make sure that we're using the brand colors here for everything just to keep it consistent. I'll make sure that this is all aligned because I want it to be aligned to the center. I'll select everything, click position and click center. You saw it wasn't aligned perfectly, but now it is. To create a different option for the cover page, I'll just duplicate to show you what other way we can do to make this font contrast but not have it so dark like it was. I just made this go to the bottom again, this block, and I will add a rectangle behind the text. So this is a trick to improve readability. I can add one big rectangle. Maybe it can come from the left-hand side like this. I'll just make sure that the margins are aligned. Of course, I'll change the color to my brand colors. Maybe I'll use that one and then use the font in the green, in the dark green. And then this can already be another option to create this cover page. I'll also click the rectangle and change the border style to be round. So corner rounding, I'll just do about this. And this is another option for a cover page. As you can see, this is matching actually this color with the brand colors. Just a final check to use this as my cover page. I will hit Shift R and I will make sure that everything that I want to be visible on my grid view is actually inside my middle square and the margins feel right. So I'll just give it a little bit more margin. I can make this slightly smaller so that the hands show up more, and I think this should be all good to go. Now by switching to the grid view now, I can view all my pages. I can decide which one I want to use. I actually prefer this one. I think it adds a little bit of color. It's more friendly. This one feels more serious, so I'll just delete that one and I'll delete these two reference pages that I have added with my colors and fonts so that I can export this design to be posted on Instagram. Before we go through the Pro Profile checklist, let's go through some definitions. First of all, we have the username here or your handle. Then on the profile, this is your profile picture, and around the profile picture, you can see this ring which shows if you have any active stories at the moment. Then you have your numbers. Then you've got the name of your profile here, your category, your bio, and your links. Then you've got your buttons, your highlights, which are saved stories, and this is the famous Instagram grid. Now I want you to grab your phone, open Instagram and look at your profile and answer these questions for yourself. Does your profile give a good first impression? Remember the 7 seconds it takes for people to form an opinion about you. When people land on your profile, can they see the real person behind the business, behind the account? Because if you're running your Instagram and you're the face of your business, you're dealing directly with customers, you should be infusing your content with your image, with your face, because people in the end of the day connect with people. So make sure that if you are the face of your business, you have an image that shows your face rather than your logo. Is it clear what you offer and how you help people? For anyone arriving at your profile for the first time, can they tell just by scanning your bio what you actually do and how you help? Is it easy for people to understand what you post about, what kind of content you share? Are you using clear headlines for people to be able to identify your posts before they even click to view more? Now, in terms of branding, are you following a visual unity on your posts, or are you changing your colors and fonts and image style all the time? And finally, do you have your links in place? Do you have a link that leads people to your website or to book a complimentary call with you or anything like that? Are the relevant links set up on your profile? These are some very important points you should be going through to optimize your Instagram profile and make it easier for people who land there to understand what you post about, what's in there for them, and whether they should follow you or not. If you want to go deeper and learn how you can use Canva to create better designs and grow on Instagram, let's go through what's included in the course. Like I said, we're going to talk about visuals, so it's all about how it looks. We're going to learn about design principles, how to create visual unity, how to improve readability on your designs, work with colors, select the fonts. Of course, you'll learn all about Canva for Instagram starting from the basics. And you also get access to my professionally designed templates to get you designing and customizing this straight away. This is what it looks like on the inside. You learn about combining colors, how to select the best fonts for your brand. You learn about graphic styles and what goes well together and what doesn't, and so much more. Then we'll get into the vibe, how it feels. So we'll learn how to create this connection with your audience, how you can bring up your uniqueness, how you can bring up your personality, create authentic content that reflects your vibe, set up your style, and create content with more soul. Your vibe is totally unique to you, and this is what gets people to really connect. You learn about branding, you'll get access to the Brand Vibe workbook to help you uncover your own unique personality. And also, if you don't have a brand for your business yet, you get access to these bonus brand essential packs, but we'll talk about them in a second. Then we'll cover the value, which is all about how it helps. We'll go through your content, your audience, and what helps them, the solutions that you offer, the information you share, the offering, and all about your niche. We'll dive deep into the content loop where you'll learn how to plan your content, create, post, and then review to see what's working and what's not working. You also get access to my own content planner template to help you get organized with your content so that you keep posting consistently. And you also learn how to schedule your posts automatically so you don't have to stress with posting in real time. Now you may be thinking that creating content for Instagram takes too long. And yes, I'll be completely honest here with you, it does take a long time, especially when you're just starting out and you don't have much idea about what to post or how to create attractive designs in Canva. But like with everything else, things tend to get much easier when you practice. And also you should be allocating hours to work on your content creation. Otherwise, you'll not do it. It's just simple as that. Put the hours in your schedule, sit down and work on it. Because your content will not work for you unless you do. And I know a lot of people say they're not creative, they have a hard time coming up with good ideas or creating good designs. And this is what the Design to Grow course is about. It will teach you step by step how you can create better designs, how you can come up with content that is valuable to your own audience. And of course, things tend to get easier and flow better with practice. So get in motion and improve with time. If Canva feels overwhelming to you, I get it. There's so much you can do with Canva, right? There's so many tools, so many graphics, elements, templates, designs. So what I suggest is that you learn the basics first. Think about what you're gonna need Canva for to start off with and start learning the basics only for that. Forget about everything else until you're confident enough to start exploring other tools in Canva. Keep in mind that it's normal that most things that we never ever learned properly will feel overwhelming at first. But be patient with yourself, learn the basics first, and then evolve from there. The Design to Grow program has 36 lessons that you can watch online at your own pace, and you'll be able to apply as you go. That's actually the idea. I don't want you to be waiting for when you're ready. I want you to watch the lessons and apply as you go for best results. In the first module, we'll talk about Instagram and how you can set your mind up for success because social media can be very overwhelming and stressful when you're starting out. You'll learn how to optimize your profile, learn the content formats, and how important your grid is. Then module number 2 is the first V, the visuals. We'll understand what makes a design look good and what doesn't. You'll learn about design principles and how to use colors, fonts, and images in your designs. Module 3 is all about the vibe. You'll learn about the power of branding, you'll uncover your own brand personality, you'll set up your brand style guide to achieve visual consistent throughout and across all your designs. In Module 4, we'll get practical and we'll jump in Canva to learn everything you need to know about using Canva for Instagram. And Module 5 is all about the value. Like we said, we'll go through the content loop, we'll find content ideas, plan your content ahead of time, we'll schedule the posts to go automatically, and we'll analyze what is working and what is not working that well. Besides the module with all the lessons, you'll have access to the closed community for members only, where you'll have the opportunity to interact with other students and share your progress and even get feedback on your designs. You have access to our monthly live sessions where once a month we go through a specific topic about Canva or creating content, graphic design, branding, and you get the opportunity to get your questions answered live. Now let's talk a bit about the bonuses that are included with the program. Brand essentials packs. So if you don't have a branding in place or you do have a branding but you don't really like it or you don't think it looks professional enough, no problem because you get access to this brand essential packs that you can customize in Canva to match your own business style, to match your own brand easily, and I'll guide you through how to do it inside the program. You can see there's some different styles here to fit different brand vibes, and you can select the one that makes most sense to your business and customize it to make it your own. Another bonus that you get is my pack of Canva templates, professionally designed for Instagram. You've got reel covers, post designs, carousel posts. These are templates that every business can use. You just have to customize them to fit your brand style, and you learn all about it inside the course as well. If you sign up for the Design to Grow program and if for whatever reason it's not what you expected and it isn't what you thought it would be, you're backed by a risk-free 7-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. That's all I had for you for today. I really hope that you got value from what I shared here. And now, if you're ready to take the next step and learn Canva for Instagram, attract your audience to get them interested in your content, and also have an online presence that you're actually proud of, I invite you to click the link below and sign up for the Design to Grow program now. Once you sign up, you'll get immediate access to the course content and you can get started right away. I hope to see you there.